In Japanese, the term Pabu means pub.
Order in 2 kaiseki.
But in Boston, Pabu means so much more.
So Pabu is a little bit of everything. We have this amazing sushi bar. We have a great selection of izakaya style small plates. And then we also have an incredible steak program as well.
Hovering over busy downtown Crossing, Pabu was a sleek and stylish new spot modeled after the many izakayas found in Japan.
So an izakaya is essentially a gastropub. It's a place where people can go after work, exchange war stories, have a few beers, have some snacks, in both kind of a casual as well as upscale setting.
The elegant space is inspired by 4 Japanese themes: sake, lanterns, woodwork, and lacquering, according to general manager Linchul Shin.
As you walk into the restaurant, the first theme is sake brewing. And then the second inspiration in the bar is going to be paper lanterns. So tons of lanterns just to really kind of brighten up the room, if you will. And then finally, at the base of it is Japanese lacquering, which is featured on the sushi bar. So the 4 main elements that kind of take you through a journey throughout the restaurant.
And back in the kitchen, executive chef Ben Steigers is working on a delicious trip for your taste buds.
The thing that we go for here is approachability. We're putting out food that many people have never tried before, but we're trying to present it in a way that's fun and easy to eat. A lot of it's finger food, and they're small bites, so you don't have to overcommit. It's a really fun way of eating.
The small plates are a great way to try a little bit of everything. Whether you start with some crispy Tokyo fried chicken served with spicy mayo for dipping, or their addictive house-made pork gyoza.
It's a relatively simple filling with pork, various alliums, and then we have a special gyoza fryer in the back. So it gets fried on one side, so it's nice and crispy, but steamed on the other. So it's a really kind of play on textures.
And for the ultimate Japanese sampler, try the tasting of robata.
Robata is grilled skewers, grilled over a Japanese white coal called binchotan. So this binchotan burns at a very, very high heat, and it allows us to char the outside while keeping the inside very, very moist and juicy.
While the preparation stays the same, what's served changes depending on what Chef Ben decides.
I call it chef's favorite cuts. So we have a lot of offcuts and things that you normally wouldn't venture out to try yourself, so I like to throw some of those as well as some of the crowd favorites in there as well.
Since they're sourcing their fish from the world-renowned Tsukiji fish market in Tokyo, you can always be sure the sushi is pristine. There are artfully arranged plates of sashimi and creative rolls like this decadent bite featuring fatty tuna topped with briny salmon roe and creamy uni. And if your mouth is feeling down, nothing will cheer it up quite like the Happy Spoon.
So the Happy Spoon, it's all of the best flavors in the ocean in one spoon. So we start with the Duxbury Cove oyster, and we top it with uni, ikura, and tobiko. And then we bind it all together with a ponzu creme fraiche. It creates a one bite where you're tasting all of the ocean, and it's sweet, it's savory, it's briny, it's beautiful.
We call it the Happy Spoon because after everyone has it, it makes them happy.
For some of that same seafood served warm, nothing beats the Pabu Hot Pot, a dish that changes with the season.
So the stew that we have on right now is our whole Maine lobster ryoshe nabe, which is a fisherman's stew. So it's a thick, rich stew with a whole Maine lobster. There's some cod belly, clams, there's different vegetables in there, as well as wheat udon noodles. So it comes out on its own burner, so it keeps it hot at the table. It's a fun way to eat. It's a fun way to eat with friends. Everyone's digging in, everyone gets a little piece of something. It's a really, really great way to eat.
Since Pabu is also part steakhouse, you can be sure they're offering some of the finest cuts in all of Boston, like this perfectly cooked American Wagyu. And for the ultimate indulgence, get yourself the Japanese Miyazaki A5 strip loin.
We use the highest grade Wagyu beef that you can get in the world, and we're getting it for the Miyazaki province, which is world renowned for having the highest quality beef even within Japan.
This magnificently marbled meat is served in small portions because of its richness.
It's so rich, so flavorful, that we limit it to a small steak because it's so rich, it's like eating a stick of butter. You wouldn't want to eat too much.
It's hard to tell people that you're going to be full after a 2-ounce steak, but because it's so rich and you get so much flavor from it, it's something that you have to try to believe it.
And something you have to taste to believe is the mochi sundae. This light and refreshing dessert features mango mochi topped with pomegranate shaved ice, reminiscent of a certain emoji.
I like to joke around and say that it looks a lot like the red-dressed flamenco dancer emoji.
And while the offerings at Pabu may seem ostentatious, the service is definitely down to earth.
And the greatest thing about Pabu is that, again, we're just all about having fun. So we don't want to be pretentious. We always consider Pabu our home, and anyone that comes in are guests in our home. And that's our most important thing, is that when you come in here, you're a guest, and we just want you to have fun.